highlights from the EULAR 2017 Congress for me have been the presentations on new therapeutic agents for psoriatic arthritis, especially those agents that are in the IL-17, IL-23 axis for the pathology of psoriatic arthritis. We now know that interleukin-17, interleukin-23, which are both important cytokines related to a cell known as the Th17 cell, are implicated in the pathogenesis of each of the clinical domains of psoriatic arthritis, including skin disease, of course, but also arthritis, also known as synovitis, enthesitis, where inflammation occurs at tendon or ligament insertions, osteitis, or inflammation of the bone, and other features that make psoriatic arthritis such a unique condition and different from rheumatoid arthritis. So an important abstract that was presented today by Peter Nash was the effect of an IL-17 inhibitor, ixekizumab, in the treatment of PsA patients who had failed anti-TNF therapy or had had intolerance to anti-TNFs. And what was shown was that the two dose arms of ixekizumab were highly effective in treating arthritis, dactylitis, skin disease, improvement in function, improvement in quality of life, as well as the other features of psoriatic arthritis. And the safety profile was as we expect with IL-17 inhibitors. That is, a handful of moderate candida infections, but otherwise relatively well tolerated. So this was an important new data set that teaches us that even in patients who have failed anti-TNF therapies, that we have an effective new agent. In addition, we're going to be hearing about the one-year data for ixekizumab patients who have previously failed conventional DMARD therapy but have not yet been exposed to TNF medications. The one-year data, the original data was originally presented at ACR, and now in this meeting we're hearing the radiographic data, which shows that there is inhibition of structural damage progression using ixekizumab in PsA. That's being presented by Desiree van der Heide. Another important IL-17 inhibitor, secukinumab, we're seeing follow-on data from the original Future 1 and 2 trials showing important long-term efficacy and safety data, which shows sustained effectiveness of that IL-17 inhibitor. A new mechanism of action in treating psoriatic arthritis is inhibition of interleukin-23. There is a medicine called guselkumab, and data on that is being presented by Atul Deodar, which shows effectiveness of this agent in all of the key clinical domains of psoriatic arthritis, as well with good safety profile. So these are going to be important new entrants, hopefully, to the psoriatic arthritis treatment arena. Yet others are being presented. For example, the JAK inhibitor tofacitinib. So this is a new to psoriatic arthritis, but one that we're used to in rheumatoid arthritis, JAK inhibitor, which is taken as an oral medication. We're seeing the data on two important trials. First, a patient population in which patients have failed conventional DMARDs but not yet exposed to biologics, and then a TNF-exposed population. Again, in both these studies, we see effectiveness across all the clinical domains: arthritis, skin disease, the enthesitis, dactylitis of this condition in both sets of patients. And in the first one, the one in which patients had an inadequate response to DMARDs, there was an adalimumab comparator control arm which showed very similar effects. So we know that tofacitinib works in a similar degree of effectiveness as anti-TNFs. So this will be important because it gives us yet another mechanism of action. JAK inhibitors inhibit multiple different cytokines, and so for patients that are not responding to other treatments, this will be an important addition. We're also seeing data with the T-cell modulator abatacept, where we're seeing effectiveness, moderate, in the various musculoskeletal aspects of psoriatic arthritis. Interestingly, the skin effects were not quite as prominent as with some of the other medications. So these are some of the important new studies, and we're also seeing more and more data showing interesting paradigms of treatment for psoriatic arthritis. Data on treating to target, data on treating to minimal disease activity state as a target for treatment. So as we're gaining new medications for treatment, we're also learning about how to get patients to remission or a low disease activity state, which is very important as we're figuring out how best to treat patients.